you playing?
Hello, and welcome to What the Bleep Are You Playing? A podcast where we play a game, many times bad, and tell you why the bleep we're playing. It's me, Sean. Sorry, Thomas is in another castle. And Mason Mansion. And we're actually not playing a game today. Today, we're doing a little bit of a retrospective. We're going to go talk about our favorite Nintendo plumber. That's Mario. And talk a little bit about his games, his impact, and what we love about him. So how you guys doing?
I would have laughed my ass off so hard if you said, we're talking about everyone's favorite Nintendo plumber, Waluigi.
Mario.
Look, I mean, Waluigi is my favorite Mario character, but...
Yeah, that adds up.
It does add up.
Just think, in an alternate universe, Waluigi is the face of Nintendo.
A better world.
That is not a better world.
A better world.
This is the bad place. Anyways, Mario.
And so in that scenario, though, they would have made Mario is created to be the alternate character for Wario in the tennis game. That Mario is the fourth forgotten character in that version.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mario.
Probably one of the biggest, gaming things ever.
I can't speak for future retrospectives because we do want to make this a thing. I don't know how much detail we're going to go into the history of this guy because it's Mario.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of know. Your grandma knows Mario.
He's just short of a pizza with a pie taken out of it as the most iconic image in video gaming. Short of Pac-Man.
I think at this point he is probably past Pac-Man in
I think so.
Well, Pac-Man hasn't been the center of culture for almost 20 years at this point.
That's a fair point.
Yes, Pac-Man was important, but Mario has been the center of video game culture for now 30 plus years. Almost, because I would say Mario as a figure became the mascot when he hit the original Nintendo with Super Mario Brothers. Yeah, obviously he was Jumpman and Donkey Kong. There was the Mario arcade games. He had been around. But it's when Mario Bros. And that iconic theme came out that Mario became the center. And we're a little over 30 years at this point.
As soon as that Super was bolted onto the title, the man was here to stay.
Yeah, he's become to video games as a whole what the name Nintendo was to video games in the 80s, where your grandma was like, "That's a Nintendo, right? Mom, this is a Neo Geo. What are you doing?"
Yeah, I'm playing Mario. No, I'm not. But it is almost inseparable to be able to separate Nintendo from Mario. Can't. No matter what Nintendo produces or what comes out, Mario is always there with it, which is something no other mascot of a console or of a company has been able to fully do for longer than a decade at a time. Mario has done it for 3 decades.
Mario he's the only remaining mascot. It's as simple as that. There are other ones that kind of get there. Master Chief has been associated with Xbox. But whenever you see the Xbox logo, it's not like Master Chief is immediately right behind it, like, hey guys, what's up? No. Mario has consistently been just tied to Nintendo.
Mm-hmm. And probably the closest you can get is Sonic with Sega, but they haven't really been...
But they don't make consoles.
They don't make consoles anymore,
And Sega is kind of now synonymous throughout all the consoles. But yeah, Sonic is probably the closest to it still, but he's kind of become his own thing. He's not really even a mascot anymore. He's a franchise.
Yeah.
Mario is still a mascot.
Sonic's not really representative of anything compared to what Mario is.
Mm-hmm. Here it is. Mario's the Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. Mario is the Mickey Mouse of video games.
Yes.
Sonic is more like, I don't know, the Bugs Bunny. Sure, he's associated with a particular brand, but
you see him all over and things.
You see him all over the place.
Yeah. So what we're going to do with these retrospectives is we're going to spend a little bit of time talking on the history, Then we're going to go for a little bit of time on what we like about the franchise. And then we're going to finish with a couple of questions about our favorites. So, diving into the history of Mario a little bit. Obviously we know he made his first appearance on Donkey Kong.
Yes.
The arcade, the game that kind of, I don't want to say it saved the arcade at the time because the arcade was still there, but was a humongous push in the arcade.
It might as well have. It was that impact.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This was also. Was it this game or was it Punch Out that was made of overstock of arcade games that like Nintendo couldn't sell?
It was Donkey Kong.
Was it Donkey Kong? Yeah. This was like after numerous failed attempts.
Mm-hmm.
This was almost sort of like their last hurrah because I kind of feel like
in a lot of ways,
if Donkey Kong didn't take off, Nintendo was probably
100% because
DOA.
You know what Donkey Kong was supposed to be?
It was supposed to be a Popeye game.
Popeye game, and then the licensing all fell through. They couldn't do it. They went through, and they turned to what we now know as one of the gods of video games, Shigeru Miyamoto, and said, "We need you to design us some characters." And he designed. Donkey Kong, very much based off of King Kong. That's a lot of things. But the character you played in the game, Jumpman, become the iconic character that we now know and love as
the
Mario.
world famous carpenter. What?
Yep.
He was a carpenter.
Chasing the love of his life, Pauline.
What a weird world we'd be living in if that kept going. Like imagine everybody being like, "Hello and welcome to the review of Super Jumpman Wonder." Like that'd have been weird.
Well, if they had a different landlord, who knows what it could have been? But they named it Mario.
Welcome to Super Bill Adventures.
I love playing my favorite brothers, Frank and Luigi.
Luigi.
See, the alternate universe, I was wondering, what if the Popeye game went through?
Mm-hmm.
What if the Popeye game went through? What would gaming look like? Would Popeye be the icon of gaming now?
Considering that the game was going to be very similar, I would imagine it would have been a very popular arcade game. And that's as far as it would have gone.
Yeah, probably.
That's probably,
We probably wouldn't have gotten Super Popeye Brothers.
We might now be getting more Popeye-related stuff because of the popularity of the arcade game. There might be a Popeye Renaissance would be happening right about now.
We'd probably get a certain animated movie out of it. Anyways.
No, it still gets canceled. Motherfucker.
Anyway, yeah. Donkey Kong.
Mario debuted Donkey Kong as Jumpman. He later was in Mario Bros. Not Super Mario Bros., just Mario Bros.
The arcade game.
Where they were like, hey, he has a brother Luigi now. What's he like? He's like Mario, except he's green, bitches.
Palette swapping. Right, is this the earliest example of palette swapping?
It is definitely one of the earliest, most famous of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a way for you could play with your friends. That you could both go to the arcade and play.
An arcade game that...
And it's a fun game.
It's a fun game. I don't know if it's aged the best.
It's fine.
I think Donkey Kong is aged better than Mario Bros. Personally.
As far as multiplayer games go, because it was on... if you got Super Mario All-Stars for the Super Nintendo, you could at any point play the arcade game.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And then it was on all of the advanced versions. Every Super Mario Advance had Mario Bros. As playable on it. It was playable with the e-reader on the Game Boy Advance. So it's a very popular game that has gone on for a long time. It's a fun little game. It's incredibly simplistic.
It's like it's fucking 80s arcade.
Yeah, it's like knock the enemies over, score points.
That's it. Yeah.
And if you're competing against another one, do it faster than the other person.
Yep.
But yeah, it's amazing that then from that, Nintendo was not satisfied with this character. And from that, they created Mario Brothers. Super Mario Brothers, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
And weird, Nintendo for a while just liked putting super in front of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of a thing. It was especially a thing in the Super Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was
which sent Mario out on an adventure. He chasing after a princess. And fighting the evil King Koopa.
Fighting a giant turtle who was originally supposed to be an ox. But because of a mix-up with the art that they had made at the time, the guy making the sprites thought he was looking at a turtle. I don't know how you confuse the two,
But still, like even at this point,
Maybe it's because we don't live in the reality where that went through, but I kind of agree. I kind of think a turtle is more iconic.
I do
because
too.
of the design that Bowser would eventually be.
Bowser is such an iconic design.
I can't see an ox having that same power.
Oh no.
Not necessarily, but who knows? That's another alternate universe. Who knows?
It would maybe an alternate universe where I'm out there like, he was supposed to be a turtle. What the fuck is that? But,
it works better in Zelda than it does in Mario, I think.
Right.
Mm-hmm. From that though, the original Super Mario Bros. There is a story. You can read it in the manual. There is a story. There's stuff to it, but it really wouldn't be till 2 games later till they start doing lore and story and stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, Super Mario 2 in Japan is just what we know as the Lost Levels.
Hard game. Hard game.
Yes.
Because it was essentially part 2.
Yeah.
Like it was World 8. It's World 9.
Mm-hmm. It's the Lost Levels and things like that. But Americans wanted more Mario, and they're like, hey, we have this game over here. Put Mario in it. Stat.
Yeah, that was man. Mario Bros. 2 is such a weird game.
I really like Mario Bros. 2, but also it is the most different Mario game because it's not a Mario game.
Yeah,
it cracks me up that for years and years and years that was the only playable appearance of Princess Peach.
Yeah.
That's true.
Toad for a long time
and
ago.
Toad, yeah.
Man, I didn't think about that. You're right.
Because there were multiple character slots, and so they had to add. I think it's 4 character slots, and so they had to add and create new characters.
Yeah.
And so they
because the original was Doki Doki Panic in Japan, and it was a family. It was like 2 sons, their dad and their mom or whatever. So they were like, oh fuck, we don't have a family. Do Mario and Luigi have a mom and dad? So instead, we're gonna make it Mario, his brother Luigi, Princess Peach, and Toad.
But the thing about Mario 2 is it gave Nintendo time. Because American audiences were really wanting more Mario. They ate up Mario Bros. They wanted more Mario. And it gave them time, okay, here's this Mario, go and play this, to really develop what, in my opinion, is the most important Mario game ever. That's Super Mario Bros. 3.
Well, but
a movie to advertise.
I was about to say you're missing out. You're forgetting a major part of that. The movie that advertised it. But you don't want to talk about the Wizard?
The Wizard is a movie, anyway. So Mario 3 came out, blew the fuck away. Blew everyone the fuck away.
Because it showed that you could do the Mario formula, the platforming, the levels, everything, but it added new power-ups. It added the ability to hold on to your power-ups, and it gave a story. Now, it's a very simple story. It's not super complicated.
It's not any more complex than the ones that we had before.
Yeah. But it gave characters. It gave the Koopa family that was invading the Mushroom Kingdom, and
That's right. This was the first appearance of the Koopalings.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Koopalings.
It also has an appearance of Donkey Kong in it.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Is it Donkey Kong or is it Donkey Kong Jr.?
I believe it's Junior. I believe it's DK Junior.
I didn't know that.
Because one of them is the king.
All the kings are turned into animals, and one of them, DK Junior.
Is DK. Wow.
And that's why you don't see him anymore. He transformed back into a man.
Anyway,
why do you think modern Donkey Kong has abandonment issues?
He checks out. And why do you think Cranky got so mad at Nintendo? But I think that is where we solidified that Mario was a franchise that they could just more or less milk out as many games as they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And with despite a couple rough patches here and there that aren't exactly Nintendo's doing, Mario's been pretty fucking consistent.
That is true. That is true.
You obviously have your Hotel Marios, you have your What Shall Not Be Named or whatever, but you have your Mario Teaches Typing. Hey, Charles Martinet, baby.
Oh, that's right.
But
that is actually a big moment in Mario is when Teaches Typing came on and Martinet tried out and became the voice of Mario. It's how we moved him even more into the Italian plumber zone.
Which was a very different direction because before he was voiced by Captain Lou Albano.
That's right, in the show.
And look,
I forgot about that.
I love Charles Martinet with all my heart. I prefer Brooklyn Mario. I just do. I love Brooklyn Mario so much.
would see it grow over the consoles. Obviously, the Super Nintendo, we had probably the most popular Mario game of all time in world.
A game that to this day on a lot of people's list is still the best Mario.
You have
game
Yoshi's
ever.
Island. You have the first spinoff in Mario Kart. You have
Was Mario Tennis on the Virtual Boy before that?
might have been. You
I
might
think it
actually be
was.
right. Mario
Yeah,
Tennis.
but no one cares about
Nobody cares about the Virtual Boy.
The first home console version.
right.
Like you could play Virtual Boy anywhere except your actual house.
Exactly. But you had Mario Kart launching that franchise. You had
Super Mario Kart.
Yeah, Super Mario Kart. Yeah, we have to put Super on everything
because it's a Super Nintendo.
Yes.
Yeah.
You had it got licensed out several different times. You have the educational Mario games, Mario is Missing and Mario's Time Machine.
Mm-hmm.
Which one of those games is better than the other one?
And then, there was that. I'm going very obscure here. Wasn't there like a Yoshi game that used the Super Nintendo
Yoshi
bazooka?
Safari.
Yoshi Safari. That's right.
We also,
She had a fucking rail shooter.
thanks to the success of Super Mario World, we got things like Yoshi's Cookies.
Yeah, that's right.
Which
Yoshi got his own spin-off, which would lead to another series, like Sean said.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we continued to the characters kept developing and growing, and probably no better example of that is when they licensed Mario out to Square at the end of the Super Nintendo cycle to make Super Mario RPG.
Yes.
And which is one of the biggest Mario stories out there, but also showed that Mario could be entered into different realms, different gameplays, and do anything.
This was the start of like Mario's everyman status of being able to put him in everything, and it works.
Because this was one of the most important games in the franchise. Because was Mario just a one-hit wonder with platformers? Could he do anything else? Mario RPG came out. Oh shit, he can do other things.
Yes, he can.
And on the other thing, it also made it so you understood that there are times that Mario and Bowser are going to be on the same side.
Our friends.
And started developing Bowser as a character.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Into my favorite Mario character. I love Bowser.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And you had development of the Yoshis. You had which had grown from Yoshi's Island, but you had a lot of that. You had more with the Toads. Like that game. A lot of what we think of about what Mario become kind of started coming out of that game. There's the lore built in.
Mm-hmm.
We would have different things that would then be ported onto the Game Boy. A lot of different things. Wario would make his first appearance on the Game Boy, I believe.
Yeah, with Mario Land.
Mario Land 2.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Where he robs Mario's fucking house.
But I think where we really saw the true financial boom of Mario is with the next system. Now, if anybody has heard us talk about the 64, we don't always talk glowingly about the system or as about some of the. We dubbed a lot of this era the PlayStation era, but there was a Mario console, and 64 is probably where you have the one that a lot of people, especially nowadays, nostalgic for that type of Mario. Where we are, because that was where Mario 64, Paper Mario, the Mario Party franchise, Mario Kart 64.
Paper Mario.
Mario, yeah.
Mario Tennis. These sort of things all became big.
In the same way that Super Mario Brothers was important to gaming as a whole, Super Mario 64 is important to gaming now.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is, I think this is like the nexus point where like 3D gaming was pretty much like solidified and was like, okay, this is the future going forward.
Mm-hmm.
2D isn't dead necessarily, but it's about to not become like the norm in gaming. It's gonna be like a side pillar, and 3D is gonna be like the main dish.
The thing that was great about the 64 is all those games I listed, aside from like the sequels, the Mario Party 1 through 3, obviously there, all of them are different genres of game.
Yes.
You had your platformers, you had your kart racers, your minigame collection, your RPGs. Mario was for
everyone. And I mean, you also had another Yoshi spinoff. Was that Yoshi's Story?
Story
Was on it. You had, Mario popped up all over in other things. The biggest one being Super Smash Brothers.
That's right.
On 64. But Mario was now you could put him on anything, and he could sell a console, which was really put to the test when we hit the GameCube. As
bafflingly didn't launch with a Mario game. It launched with the Luigi's Mansion.
Luigi's Mansion.
Weird choice.
Weird choice. Well, I think because they were not sure where they were going to go after 64.
Mm-hmm.
They had some ideas. They had a lot of things. But as you see with Mario, they always wanted to push the envelope with something new.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, as we would later see with Sunshine, they didn't really have an idea of what to do really new other than add like small, new, interesting mechanics. Well, Luigi's Mansion is something entirely different.
That is true.
We would then see that. I think that's wise. They wanted to launch with something entirely different than what we're used to.
That's fair.
But this is kind of probably the most stagnated period of Mario is the GameCube. Not to say there are bad games, because there's so many good games. But this is kind of where Mario, in the cultural zeitgeist of everything, is kind of a little bit of stagnation, because what was popular at the time, shooters.
What was popular at the time, not the GameCube, that's for damn sure.
The Xbox and the PlayStation, and so Mario kind of hit this lull on the GameCube. And great games across the board.
Yeah, I don't think any of that was really Mario's fault, really.
No.
If the GameCube was... Look, I love the GameCube. If it was a better console, if it had sold more, that wouldn't have happened. What happened with Mario during that time that you're talking about would not have happened. None of it is Mario's fault. It's just...
Yeah, I love
Nintendo
Mario
during
Sunshine.
this era was...
Love Mario Sunshine. Luigi's Mansion. Double Dash is a lot of people's favorite Mario Kart.
Oh, it's so good. So good.
We would get Mario Soccer. We would get him appearing in EA games. The Mario Party franchise would just start pumping them out at this point.
Yeah.
And again, it's not that this was Mario's fault, but at this point, Mario was just, it's kid stuff. Mario's past his prime. At the time, no one really liked Sunshine. Sure, critics gave it glowing reviews, but if you asked a normal person on the street, they'd be like, what the fuck is that?
Well, because a lot of people complain about its difficulty. I remember at the time that it was a lot more difficult.
It also, again, Sunshine is one of my favorite 3D Mario games, but it is just a graphical upgraded 64.
Another important thing, you brought up the graphics. Another important thing to point out is that I'm fairly confident in saying this. I think by this point with the GameCube, Nintendo had pretty much nailed the design for Mario and Luigi and all the other characters. Mm-hmm. I think by this point, the design that they had for all of them would stay very consistent throughout. There would be like little tiny differences. Like later on, Peach got bigger lips, lottie fucking da. But but for the most part, this is the design that they would go with for these characters going forward.
Mm-hmm. I think while we talk about the lull on the GameCube, it is very important to talk about where there wasn't a lull and where a lot of people were absolutely adoring Mario at the same time. GBA and Nintendo DS.
That is true.
The GBA launched with all the Mario Brothers games. A lot of the NES and SNES games. For the GBA.
They got the Mario Advanced series, which is
Mario and Luigi series.
Mario, yes.
Another RPG scratched to Mario's ticket. Then when the Nintendo DS came out, Super Mario Brothers,
which really brought back.
Not to mention,
not just Mario in general, but 2D Mario, big time.
To go back before the DS, there was one more game where we saw Donkey Kong and Mario reunite with Mario and Donkey Kong. On the GBA.
Oh, that's right.
That was a big one as well. So the GBA and then the DS, you say, New Super Mario Bros., the Mario and Luigi franchise, 64 was put on the DS.
It was.
The massive amount of great stuff that was put out on the DS and then the 3DS, and as well as the GBA beforehand. The handheld market, they were doing just fine with Mario. So the question was going to be, would Mario find that revolutionary game again on the consoles that they'd had from, say, the Mario Bros. To Mario World to 64, that Sunshine, as good as it is, really wasn't a new revolutionary game.
So everybody was like, is Mario done? Is Mario just for handhelds now? And then in 2007, Nintendo came out and said, Mario Galaxy, bitches, mic drop, and released Mario Galaxy, and holy fuck.
Yeah.
Absolutely changes 3D platforms in a way that I don't think has ever truly been replicated.
Oh no, absolutely not. No,
there have been attempts, but no.
Because it just went like so much bigger with everything.
Mm-hmm. And
like the story is bigger in scope. The worlds are so much bigger. The music is bigger. My God. But yeah, everything was just ramped up to 11 with this game. It really did feel like Nintendo was like, all right, we need to pull out all the stops.
And
they did.
It would also be the only the return of a Mario game on the system getting a sequel.
That's right.
Because we had the Mario Bros. Games. Mario World had a sequel, but 64 was its only major Mario title. The only major, Mario title. Same thing with Sunshine being the only major Mario title on the system. Well, we got Galaxy 1 and 2. And that is something that, it was important to see how impactful that was because it did get a sequel. That was a sign. And then Mario going strong, Odyssey would be their big move into the Nintendo Switch.
It's funny how Mario goes in cycles. It's like, oh my god, you're super hot. It's not doing great right now. And Mario may be done. Oh god, they just nailed it again. And that was Mario Galaxy, Wii U era, and not really. Mario Odyssey, oh dear.
Yeah, it's very much a roller coaster, and none of it can really be blamed on Mario for the most part. Most of it is the console that it's on.
And it's not that Mario wasn't popular in video games, but in 2023, his popularity will reach a whole new level when the Super Mario Brothers movie was released.
Mm-hmm. Number 2 at the box office for the year of 2023. Number 2 at the worldwide as well, I believe. And so, Mario Mania hit a high. No shortage of it on its 40th anniversary.
Wow.
And that is kind of wild that, we're technically entering the 5th decade of Mario.
That's insane.
Moving towards the 5th decade of Mario, and it's.
Well, what's that? It's my age. Withering.
But
I can't wait. I can't wait for his 80th anniversary when Mario's in an iron lung on life support.
And I think this could go back to our beginning point on this little history stuff. Mario is the only mascot that has stood the test of time. Yeah, they're all here. They all still exist. They still have games occasionally, but Mario is the only one that is the face of the entire video game medium. The company, Nintendo, and the console, whatever they bring out. No other mascot has been able to continually do that. They come and they go.
You know what the Mario franchise is right now? It's comforting. Because as we've seen in real time, the video game industry, there's no other way to put it, spiraling. It's always comforting to know that, Mario's still around.
Through all the thick and thins, the ups and downs of the games industry, Mario, Jumpman Mario will be there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's a little bit of a history, a little bit of conversation on everything on Mario. I know there's a lot of different highlights that we probably missed throughout that history. Let us know what you think we should highlight on there.
Yeah, we're going to get an angry comment that's like, why didn't you talk about Mario Clash on the Virtual Boy?
Or, why didn't you talk about the rest of the Smash Bros? Or, where is,
That'll be saved for our inevitable 3-hour Smash retrospective.
3 hours on
Why didn't you mention Pikmin? It's built out of the polygon test of the Nintendo 64.
Oh god, that's right. Anyways.
That's the overview of Mario.
But yeah, I think then the thing we want to talk about here is what we love. Specifically, we're each going to maybe go. I think probably each of us are going to go 2 things, just going on there. But just listing off of just things for 40 years of Mario. There's a lot to choose from, but what you love. Mason, you want to lead us off on this?
Yeah, like I just said, I think the thing that I like the most about the Mario franchise is its consistency. The Mario name has been for so many years like synonymous with quality. I think I can only count on one hand like the amount of Mario games that are truly bad. Like there are Mario games that are lesser than others. No two Mario games are created equally, but I think they're all at the very least an amount of fun. It's Mario games they're like gaming comfort food. They're always going to be at least well made and enjoyable to some degree.
Mario's one of those franchises where if it gets a 7 out of 10, it's a bad game.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's just 7 out of 10.
And like when that's your like baseline is a 7 out of 10, like that means something.
Yeah, I agree. It's amazing consistency.
Yes.
We're in year 41.
Yeah.
But I think we mentioned it. One of my things I absolutely love and is that Mario can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked on multiple different Sonic the Hedgehog episodes that Sonic can be put into anything. I think Mario is in the same place. You can literally put Mario in anything, and I think it would work.
He's the Barbie of video games.
Yeah, I think if you compare the two, I think I could see a few genres that I wouldn't expect Mario in that I think Sonic could find his way in.
Yeah.
But it's almost across the board. Yeah, you may have to kidify the genre a little bit or like make it more palatable for the all audiences.
Right.
But you could put Mario in nearly everything, and it would work. You could find a story around it.
When Mario / Rabbids got revealed, and it was like, yeah, Mario's going to be teaming up with the Rabbids for a tactical XCOM style shooter. Everyone was like, what the fuck is that? There's no way that's going to work. It comes out. Why does it
why does it slap?
And that's a franchise now.
Yeah.
That's got 2 games.
The thing is that the Rabbids are now more synonymous with Mario than the franchise they came out
with. With a Rayman.
And you know what? Good, because the Rabbids only got good when they teamed up with Mario.
That's the power of Mario. He could go up to a franchise and go, mine.
Mine now. Does Rayman get a game now?
No.
It's no wonder that Illumination grabbed Mario. They created the Minions because Mario had already been so great with the Rabbids, the video game Minions.
Oh, no.
Anyways.
All right, Thomas, what's something you love?
Over on our Patreon, there's an episode where we talk about things we love about the Sonic series. And I mentioned I love the characters. It's the same thing here. I really love the Mario characters, as simple as they are. You know, a lot of them can be described with 5 words or less.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't care. These are characters I just absolutely love. I always get a sense of charm with them. Anytime they're... You should have seen my face when Luigi's Mansion 3 came out, and there was that whole intro cutscene which showing all of their character and showing all of them just really cutely interacting. Like, it was great. It's, again, one of the reasons I love the Mario Rabbids games, because there is so much character brought to them in these games.
It's no wonder that you love the Mario and Luigi franchise, because that is one of the franchises that really leaned into the Mario and Luigi dynamic. There, when they're fighting with each other,
Fake Italian
is so good. But yeah, you could describe every Mario character in under 10 words easily.
Yeah.
But also, every Mario character does have this weird sense of depth to them that at any point you feel like, you know, a 40-hour epic could come out about them, and it would not surprise you one bit.
You obviously haven't read my 10-page college dissertation about Wiggler.
Like,
and why you don't wake him.
Look, I would not be surprised if tomorrow they were like, Nintendo's releasing a God of War 2018 clone with Bowser and Bowser Jr.
Oh, I'd play that.
And it's be like, well, that's stupid. Why is it getting 10s across the board?
Why has no one modded that yet?
There's been fan art. But I haven't seen any mods.
Oh my goodness.
The fan art is what inspired me to make that comment anyway.
All right, Mason, give us one more thing that you love about the Mario franchise.
One more thing that I really like about the Mario franchise. It's so colorful. Like, it is so...
And in different ways from every game.
It is, yeah. I am constantly amazed with what they can do with the art style in Mario games. I I kind of thought that like when like New Super Mario Brothers U came out, I was like, okay, this is probably. I think the Mario art style has kind of like plateaued. It's probably not gonna get any different or better than this. And then Wonder came out and blew my friggin' mind. I was like, holy crap! You made five games with pretty much the same art style when you could have been making this. I'm not complaining really, but at the same time, like, come on.
At the same time, yes, I am.
Yeah.
I mean, even going back to the original Donkey Kong, there's such a unique color palette to that game. You know, at that time, to the way it portrayed everything and looked everything, and was limited to the Mario Bros.
Yeah,
Super Mario Bros.
The first three Mario Bros. Games are all on the same console, and you can't really tell.
They all look very different color-wise. It's incredible. And then the difference of the coloring between Mario World and Yoshi's Island are very different. Like they are always trying to do something different.
The difference between Luigi's Mansion and Super Mario Sunshine.
Oh man, it's like literally night and day.
My thing that I love in the Mario franchise here, Waluigi. Said it already. Just got to talk about it again. Just got to talk about my boy. He doesn't get the credit that he deserves. Waluigi.
Justice for Waluigi.
Waluigi deserves nothing anyway.
He's a good boy and he deserves the world.
Anyways.
Guess who's the Shadow the Hedgehog of the Mario franchise for me? No. For me.
King Boo?
No, I don't like King Boo either.
Anyways.
Honestly, another thing, I'm just going to steal one of Sean's points. I love how malleable the Mario series is. Just, you can do basically anything with them. Keep in mind, from the Mario series, technically Donkey Kong, but from the Mario series, we have got Donkey Kong Country, we've got Yoshi's Island, Wario Land /
WarioWare.
WarioWare.
The new Princess Peach game. Luigi's Mansion. Basically any Mario character can have their spin-off of this one. Again, where is my 40-hour action RPG starring Bowser?
When Birdo's time to shine.
Yeah,
where's my Gears of War clone starring Birdo?
Wow. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. I think it's pretty clear how much we really do love Mario. And if it's not clear, let me just tell you, we all really love Mario.
all love Mario.
I think it's because we all really
But now's the time, at the end of these retrospective, the first of hopefully many we'll do over the years, where we're gonna finish with two questions. The first question, what is your favorite Mario spinoff?
Thomas, you want to take this one first?
Mario and Luigi, Bowser's Inside Story.
Interesting.
Far and away, I know people love the Paper Mario RPGs. I personally have not gotten to play most of them.
And the Paper Mario, each generation has gotten less RPG each.
Yeah, I was going to say Origami King is like, that's an RPG. But for me, Mario and Luigi, Bowser's Inside Story. Again, Bowser's my favorite Mario character, so I'm probably a bit biased there. But genuinely love that game so much. It is what made Bowser my favorite character in the franchise. Because Bowser's such a cool character because he's a big, dumb brute, but he's also, like, really charming in what he does.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love the dude. I want to give a special mention to Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope because I've been playing that game nonstop, but I also consider it more of a Rabbids game, so I'm not going to really put it into this thing.
All right, Mason, what's your favorite spinoff?
So this is I've been arguing with both the questions that we have for this for a while. For a long while, I was debating between for this question either Mario Party or Mario Kart DS because those are probably the two Mario spinoffs that I sank the most time into. Even Mario Party, where most of the time I was playing it by myself. But since you brought it up earlier, I gotta go with Double Dash. I've got to go with Double Dash because, look, I love 8 as much as the next guy. It's a very solidly made kart racer, but the thing that I love so much about Double Dash is even ignoring the two person per kart design, which I think is really good. It plays so unlike every other Mario party game by adding like just a tiny element of like slipperiness in the carts. It's very slippery in the way that the cars drive, and that just makes it so much more fun. And I wish they would do that more with the Mario Kart games. Is add just a little bit of slip to it. It's so fun and chaotic and amazing, and I love it. It's the one Mario Kart game that I will actively go back to.
Yeah, because the rest of the Mario Kart it just kind of replaces, but Mario Kart Double Dash is the only one where it's like, no, that is the only place you can get that experience.
It's that and the current Mario Kart arcade games, which are of course really difficult to find because you got to find an arcade that has them. But anyways,
Yeah. Well, my favorite spinoff. And like Mason, I spent a lot of time going back and forth between about 8 games. But in the end, I kept settling in on one of my favorite just fun times. And that's Mario Party 2.
interesting.
Because that is the one Mario Party where they all cosplayed. You're on a cowboy board. Everyone's in cowboys. You're in space. But you even had the ending movies for each time you won. Again, if you're a cowboy, you're the sheriff going and taking down rough and tough Bowser. His Koopalings are running around. Yes, if you're in space, Bowser has a giant laser gun that he uses.
Look out for the next Mario Party that takes place at San Diego Comic-Con.
And after 2, they would start to kind of change the franchise to more of what we know now. But Mario Party 2 is such a unique game in that franchise. It is so different. It's so dripping in, we're just going to have fun with Mario characters. And I think that's why when I was making this decision, I had to settle in on that one.
Fair enough.
But now, you've sat through this whole podcast. You've wondered, what is these guys' favorite Mario game? We're going to tell you right now. Thomas, what's your favorite Mario game?
So for years, basically, I've said my favorite Mario game is Mario Galaxy 2.
Interesting.
I've said that for years, and I do really love that game with all my heart. It's not my favorite anymore. Call it recency bias if you want. It's Mario Goddamn Odyssey.
Mm-hmm.
That is one of the first Mario. Mario Odyssey is a fucking experience. It's that's all I can say about it. Like, genuinely, that is one of the only Mario games I've played. Because it was one of the only ones I played at launch.
Mm-hmm.
I was really young when the other Mario games came out, so I didn't play them at launch. Because I was a stupid little baby kid. But I played Mario Odyssey at launch, and every part of that game blew me away. There were genuinely points where I was tearing up at how beautiful that game was for me. And that's just me. Are there parts of it that frustrate me? Oh, fuck yeah. But for me, it's Mario Odyssey.
They brought back Cappy.
They did.
Cappy's such a cool character.
They did. He's
I love Cappy.
I love Cappy. Anyways.
And it allowed a multiplayer. It allowed co-op mode in a very unique and interesting way. Odyssey rocks. All right, Mason.
Now, I want to make it clear from the start that when we say favorite, we're separating favorite from best here.
That's fine. What is the game you go to?
Because I realize when I say this, it's gonna.
Is it DDR?
It's not DDR.
Oh, I think I know what it is.
It's got to for me. It's got to be New Super Mario Bros. Wii.
There it is.
That's the one for me. Wii is the one for me because that was the first Mario game that I played at launch, and. Man, let me tell you, there is nothing like experiencing multiplayer Mario for the first time and having your mind blown. It is so it ramps up the fun so much.
Your Mario mode was so good. Your Mario multiplayer was a lot better than mine because it was bloodshed.
No, it's fun bloodshed.
It was them bringing back kind of the classic feel, which is was awesome. But a good choice. It's a good franchise that. Has continued to come out with new titles for it, and they continue to utilize that formula.
Also, shout out to one of my friends from elementary school who was also named Mason, who helped me figure out the Luigi guide thing, where you could just have Luigi play the level for you. Of a real big help for me to completing that game.
Amazing. So obviously, I'm gonna go back in time a little bit. I'm gonna go back
in the future. We gotta go back in time.
When I was wee little Sean really wasn't able to beat many games, especially on the Super Nintendo. I didn't have a lot of games, and I just wasn't beat it. But then I finally sat down and I beat a game, and it was so exciting. And because of that, I have held this game in high esteem forever and forever. That is Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island.
Interesting.
That game is everything for me. I think that it encapsulates Mario more than anything for me because it tells a new story about Mario that isn't necessarily even canon to Mario, but it tells a whole different story on it. It puts Yoshi in the forefront. Baby Bowser turning into the giant Bowser at the end is still one of the coolest ending bosses. Yeah, it's just a great game. It does platforming in a very different way than Super Mario World did, despite holding the name.
Yeah.
And I just love that game. I still sit down and play it all the time. It's still a great game, and it is my favorite of that era of Mario.
That's fair enough. I wasn't expecting it when you said it, but thinking back, I was like, oh yeah, of course it's Yoshi's Island. We've talked about that before, and I forgot.
Yoshi's Island's such a good game. Yeah, it's such a good game.
Yeah. Is there more of a Yoshi's game? No, I'm kidding.
But hey, you've now heard us all talk a little bit about Mario, what we love, our favorites. Well, what do you think? What's your favorite game? Let us know. Drop us an email, bleepyouplaying@gmail.com. It's bleepyouplaying@gmail.com. Or maybe you really want us to play a Mario game. We've already covered one Mario movie over on our Patreon.
We have.
Who knows how much more we're going to cover. But if you want us to, you can tell us to play a Mario game or any other game. Subscribing at our Patreon as our Super Bleephead tier, $15 a month, you can tell us to play one and we will do it. And we'll get that episode out fast if you do. But yeah, this is pretty fun. We really want to do these retrospectives. Trying to do these throughout the season. So look forward to more of these. It's always fun to sit down and just talk about video games.
It is. It absolutely is.
And we'll be back next time. Burn it.